Peace. Grand Rising. Yeah, let's get them in here. Dopest mornings to you. DJ Tonka on the ones and twos. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? We in this thing. Man, been a crazy weekend. It was a crazy weekend for sure. Hey, man, what's good? What's good with y'all? Y'all know that's the theme song. You know? Hey, Dopest Strawberry is in the building. What's good, y'all? Well, today we talking about Biden Harris. Wow, it sounds good to say that. Let me put them back up on here. Let me see where they at. Biden Harris. Historic. It was historic, right? It was a historic weekend. But I was really caught up with the celebrations. The celebrations was hard not to watch. Cause I saw a lot of things in the celebration that, you know, it brought up the Obama effect. I saw the Obama effect in the crowd. Those young 20 to 30-year-old Caucasians that just swung the vote, man. It's the highest turnout of African American vote, minority vote, I think, overall, the most votes ever. So I didn't really want to speak on it and keep getting caught up because of the, you know, the count. People talking about the count and how slow it was. So I decided I would wait until it was all said and done, and you know, we discussed the aftermath of this thing. Um, what I saw again interesting was you know, the Obama effect. A lot of those youngsters that maybe have been a little bit too young to vote in the last election, but they grew up during the Obama administration. I feel like a lot of those youngsters I saw out in the crowd was really representative of the future. Regardless if they were voting because of, hey, good morning, Queen Dopest, Grand Rising, Queen. Regardless if they were voting for, you know, racial inequality, the health care system, economics, any of those things, they the ones that made the difference. You know, especially in places like Arizona, Pennsylvania, Georgia, they made a big difference in this election. Now we got to talk about President number 45 and his onslaught. He's about to do a media onslaught to try to raise awareness for his claims, and I say claims very loosely because there's been no proof to substantiate anything, even though on Twitter, Donald Trump continues to say that the election was stolen, that he was cheated, and that there was widespread voter fraud and corruption. Not only that, man, he singled out cities and called them corrupt. I mean, this is the aftermath. He's not conceding. From what I've been told, he's going to do a bunch of presidential rally type events to, cause uproar over these baseless claims of voter fraud. I have a great feeling that a lot of people that did vote for Donald Trump after how he conducted himself at the end of this election, I bet you a lot of them will want their ballots back. I'm pretty sure a lot of them will want their ballots back. Just for the mere fact that, first of all, it's not how a man acts, much less a leader of the free world. That is not what we would find as qualities of a leader. So what are you guys' thoughts as it pertains to the aftermath? I mean, the victory in itself was inspiring. Hey, Grand Rising, OneLoveFam.com, AK 187 in the building. What's happening, bro? Let me see. That's what we looking at. That's what we looking at right now. And this was the scene. All right, let me see. This was the scene. That was a beautiful thing, man. That's you might as well copy and paste that picture all around the country, because that's how we felt once this election was called for President-elect Joseph Biden Jr. Enjoyed every moment of it. You saw people all colors, all ages, genders, affiliations, and so forth. Good. Can't complain. Things starting to come together. Can't be more amazed. Yeah. You know what? And then, what's the brother's name from CNN? Queen Joy. What's the brother's name? The brother from CNN. He broke down on Saturday. Man, he broke down. I wish I had put a clip of that up. Hold on, let me see if I can get that. Van, is his name Van? I can't remember the brother's last name offhand. But he broke down, and I think it's for the same reasons. It wasn't so much the racism and all that. It's just the leader of what you represent. Like they say, character means something, don't it? Like, since when did character, just character, you throw the politics? Van Jones, shout out to Van Jones. Um, he did a lot of work too. A lot of people don't know behind the scenes, putting together little groups and supporting little groups to get out and vote and things of that nature. But when he said character matters, I was like, that's what really got me, because regardless if the politics aside, it's when he was saying like, now I can point to the president and show my kids like that's how you conduct yourself. You know, that's how you conduct yourself. So him saying like character matters was was a big thing, and I think it was a big thing in the election. Because quite honestly, I believe a lot of people voted on character. I know for a fact in my household, we went through the propositions line by line, the candidates, Senate, councilwoman, and all those different type of things. We went through that line by line. Grand Rising Mercedes. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and share this for me. But in a lot of instances, it comes down to character. So say even if I did like the things that Donald Trump said he was going to do, well, based on your character, I don't believe you. So why would I vote for you? You've lied countless times. So why would I vote for somebody that's countless times? When you have to put a fact checker segment in your broadcast just for the president, a fact checker. It's a dude, his whole job is just to check the facts of what Donald Trump has said at all his press conferences. Every time he's done, all right, let's go to our fact checker, and he got to tell you if the president was lying or not. I don't think that's, I don't really think they did that for Obama or even Bush for that matter, Bush Jr. Like, I don't think they did all that. Is Bush the second Bush a junior? I don't even know. I think he's a junior though. But yeah, I don't think that I never saw that before. I don't recall seeing them having a fact checker every time somebody spoke that we had to go check the facts. Cause you couldn't believe nothing that came out of his mouth. You couldn't believe a thing that came out of his mouth. Yeah. He was the president of America. Joe was gonna be the president of USA. Us, yeah. He was a me, America. And Joe is the president of the USA, USA. That's right. Yeah, he said, I'm gonna be a Democratic president. I'm gonna be a president of the United States. I mean, all people. But like I said, back to the celebrations. Man, these celebrations this weekend were off the chain. Like I said, it was all over the country. They were peaceful. They were peaceful. Now we're gonna get to see if let me read some of these latest tweets from the greed, right? Let me read some of the latest tweets from number 45. Okay. He's still tweeting politics though. Stock market up big. Vaccine coming soon. Report 90% effective. Such great news. Well, let's really hope he does something phenomenal as he goes out. Investigators dispatched after Fulton County discovers issue with ballot reporting. Since when does the lamestream, he doesn't call them mainstream, the lamestream media call our next president, who our next president will be? We have all learned a lot in the last 2 weeks. This is the one that kills me. We believe these people are thieves. The big city machines are corrupt. This was a stolen election. Best pollster in Britain wrote this morning that this was clearly a stolen election, that it's impossible to imagine that Biden outran Obama in some of these states. Let's think about that. Biden outran Obama in some of the states. Okay, well, let's say Biden got some of Obama's votes in some of those states. And then you had the people that are just sick of you, number 45. You got the people that supported you in the last election that are just sick of you. That's how his numbers were bigger than Obama's in a lot of them states. The George Bush supporter, do you not recall that George Bush endorsed, wait a minute, a Republican president endorsed Joe Biden. A Republican president. John McCain, God rest his soul, a Republican. His people that voted for him in the last election against Obama supported Joe Biden. So how is it hard to imagine how Joe Biden outdid Obama's numbers in some of those states? It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Not to mention, this had a bigger turnout than any election in history. Donald Trump received more votes than any Republican president nominee in history. Conversely, Joe Biden had more votes than anybody, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Authoritarian, or whatever, Green Party, what's it called? Green Tea Party. He had more votes than anybody ever. Upwards of 74, 75 million votes. So of course his numbers were bigger than Obama's in some of these states. Again, you have a man that speaks just off the cuff, whether, that's just like me speaking right now. I say whatever I want. Lies, truths. Only difference is, what I'm saying is not affecting millions. It's if you were in California, I don't know what the ballots look like everywhere, but in California, as you read the ballots, you notice the people that were running for offices in California that were Republican, nowhere in their description or bio did they mention coronavirus. None of them. Hey, you could tell right off the top who in these elections were backed by the Trump machine or were backing the Trump machine merely by reading their bios. All of them talked about two things: the economy and crime. Those are two things: economy and crime. His message about healing the land is powerful. People want change. And like he credit to Joe Biden, like he said, his thing is to, we got differences, we have a choice to disagree, so we also have a choice to agree. So they're going to have to find some common ground to get a lot of these things done. The vote is the first process. The next step is to get both sides of the aisle to agree on what the next course of action is as it pertains to the coronavirus. Like Joe said, unless we get the coronavirus under control, our economy is not going to be where it's supposed to be. Like, duh. If people can't frequent and patronize the same stores and, leisure activities and things of that nature that they did before, there's no way that our economy is going to be back rolling. So I think precisely, one of the things that Republicans are upset about and Trump supporters is that I believe a lockdown is imminent. Me and Joy were discussing this the other day. Let's get it going. We already did it once. I think it's time for the whole country to probably be able to do it at the same time with a federally mandated lockdown. Whether it's 2 weeks, whether it's a month, whether it's 3 weeks, I don't know the time period. But one of the first things that he did was assemble a group of scientists and leading experts in the field to put together a plan. I don't think it's no might be. Did you see a big difference, man? Even in the celebrations, everybody had masks on. I mean, it was thousands out there. Don't get me wrong. It was no social distancing. Don't get me wrong. But if you go look at a Trump rally or a Trump press conference or a Trump anything, you got thousands of people or hundreds or whatever standing next to each other with no mask. There was a difference. The people on the blue side, the Democratic side, they believed in wearing masks. Yeah, it's coming. The schools actually asked us the other day, do we want to send our kids back to school? And you know, our kids are dying to go back to school. But I had to make the decision that after flu season, after flu season, I'll be more willing to send my kids, but not right now. Not when all the leading experts have said the numbers are going to dramatically go up. And guess what? We've had, 5-6 days of over 100,000 new positive corona tests across the country. 100,000. We're about to hit 10 million cases. We're about to hit 10 million cases. 10 million. So, do I think, no matter what I do, I'm not going to get corona? No, but I'm going to do what I think I feel is best until I think they have a handle on what the plan is. For, 9 months now, we've been working with no plan. No plan. Every state got their own plan. Every county had their own plan. Because while here in Orange County, we were doing something. Los Angeles County was doing something different. You know what I mean? Northern California, they doing something different. Like, all these places was doing something different. And that's just within California. So you imagine state to state to state. Atlanta, all the strip clubs is open. I don't think the strip clubs ever closed in Atlanta. I don't think the strip clubs ever closed in Atlanta. The hookah bars, strip clubs, none of that shit ever none of that shit ever closed in Atlanta during this whole pandemic. It's been open. So strippers been getting their money. Dancers, my bad. Dancers been getting their money. Get that money. I ain't mad at you. Get the money. But, it's going to take some kind of federally mandated blanket policy over the whole country. Something like Como did in New York. He got a grasp of the pandemic in New York early. You know what I'm saying? It was real bad in New York, and he did what he felt was best. He shut things down. Got the numbers under control. But it's flu season, so all the experts been saying for the last 7-8 months that this is going to be a tough time for the COVID, and the numbers are bearing the fruit of that. 100,000 cases. It's going to start powering our system, overflooding our system to where, resources are going to be thinned out again. They're going to be start talking about, he shut it all the way down. Queen, you out there in New York. Resources, PPEs and all that is going to become ventilators. All these things will come back into play that we were talking about March and April and May. So clubs did close before a short period. Yeah. They closed from, I think it was like March to what was it, May or June? Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Trust me, I remember when they opened back up. A lot of people I know started frequenting these places like ASAP. Um, just because they could. Not because it was safe, but just because they could. I think that's the difference. And I think the other contributing factor is until, like I said, people start losing people that's close to them, a lot of people just don't realize and believe it's true still. I think some people still think that COVID is a fluke. Yeah, I really do. But again, this scene here, uh, this was everything for me. This scene played out all across America because of these two. And you got a lot of people that are feeling really proud to be Americans. It's been a long time since I know a lot of people that I know that have been really proud to sit there and say, I'm proud to be an American. Yep, I was at the strip club for my birthday in July, and I did see those pictures. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. I did see those pictures on your Instagram. Yeah, but I mean, I just think it's a great time for us to exhale, breathe. Because like Van Jones was saying, it's been a long time since it feel like. Remember he was like, the I Can't Breathe wasn't just for the George Floyd and all that. It was just like, as Americans, it felt like we couldn't breathe. It was a party like we overthrew a dictator. Exactly. I don't remember. Look, I remember celebrations worldwide when Obama won, right? And you gotta admit, most of the celebrations were, hey, happy Monday, Lola. Most of the celebrations were African American. But I'm talking about everybody was out. The gay community, the Black Lives Matter, the what I call the Obama generation, you know, the Obama effect. I keep telling you, Obama effect was in full effect during this election. Let somebody tell you different, they don't know what they talking about. All you got to do is go look up these celebrations around the country, and you're going to see all of those 18 to 30-year-old Caucasian men and women that were the, you know, like I said, some of them were too young to vote when Obama was in president. Some of them didn't have an Obama last election to vote for. So I believe like they were a big majority of that 4 million plus votes that he won by. And that's the popular vote. Because he can complain, number 45 can complain all he want about the electoral college in certain states. Man, brother, you lost by almost 4+ million votes. The popular vote. The electoral college is suspect anyway. So if we went by the electoral college or the popular vote, you lost. And the fact that you don't have the decency as a man, hey, Grand Rising Justice, J, no justice, no peace. You don't have the wherewithal to say me conceding. You can still do all the litigation. Yeah, the electoral college. He lost the popular vote in that election to Hillary Clinton. Yeah. He lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton in that election by a couple million, I believe it was. Yeah, but he could have conceded or congratulated Biden on his victory and still did all the litigation. It's just a way, you know what I'm saying? It's a way you go about things as a leader. Like, hey, look, I want to congratulate Biden and Harris on the campaign they ran. Um, you know, because like they said, one minute he wants to say they want to say Biden is too old and he got dementia, and then the next minute he's the mastermind behind one of the most elaborate voter fraud schemes in the history of history. Yeah, he never been a leader. Well, it's a lot different when you come from, and I really don't know because I don't come from that place, but I imagine it's a lot different to come from something where everything is given to you. You know what I mean? Like when everything is given to you. No matter how many F's you get in school, no matter how many failed businesses you done had, how many bankruptcies you done had. And then a lot of people don't see the bigger picture. With him out of office, he is now subject to answering certain questions. A lot of people haven't talked about that. I don't really know the ins and outs of that. I will learn more going forward about subpoenas and, him having to answer questions to his taxes and all this other nonsense. That's another reason why he wanted to get reelected. That was one of the other reasons that a lot of them wanted him reelected. It's 4 more years that he wouldn't have had to answer no questions about certain things. Right. This is a wrap. When you got every legal law professor across the country saying that this man has no basis for his lawsuits, that most have been already thrown out as frivolous, and the ones that he did get minor victories on didn't really have any significance to the outcome of the election. So what, you want X number of ballots thrown out of Pennsylvania? The sum of it all is you still lost. He's for sure going to have to pay back a huge bank loan that only gave it to him because he was president. What kind of president needs a bank loan? Did Obama get some loans when he was... What? No. Obama was getting loans when he was president? I ain't know about it. Oh, man. You know what I found quite interesting? And I thought this was like really funny. Is that Trump said in his speech, I think it was the day before the election was called, he said, you got the Democrats who are big money. They raised all this money for, their war chest for the campaign. But here you go, you got this, what is he, a millionaire, billionaire? I don't know if he's a billionaire. Is he a billionaire? It's just on paper. On paper, he's got money, right? And then your whole political scheme, economic-wise, it helps the people that make $400K and above, right? So you got all these big boys, the rich guys, and you're quote-unquote rich. But you talking about the Democrats raise more money. But you done lifted up the economy. Wait a minute. How you lift up the economy and you can't even lift up your own campaign? You know why? Because he didn't lift the economy. Let's keep it real. He inherited. Me and Joy were talking about this the other day. Joy and I. When we met in 2008, the economy was at its worst. One of the worst in history when Obama was elected president, when he became the president-elect. And first thing he did was jumped on the economy. Right? So here you have it. him working on the economy along with Joe Biden for 8 years. Now, Trump inherited an economy that was way better than the one Bush left for Obama, right? Now, he's proceeded to totally fuck up. You could say he did well until the pandemic, but part of being president was him handling this pandemic and not allowing it to totally screw off our economy. That was part of his responsibility. So just like Biden said, we can't heal as a nation until we win this war against COVID, and then we can start seeing some semblance of normalcy as far as our life and our economy is concerned. Yeah, but I didn't see anything that he's done over this last 4 years that of any significance, not to the economy, not to the healthcare. Like they said, he never did lay out a healthcare plan. He never did. Never laid out a healthcare plan. He never did. Didn't lay out a healthcare plan. Like I said, most of his thing has been purely speaking off the cuff. And it's just been in the limelight. From what I heard, and that his wife is just telling him, man, you lost. His wife is like, hey, man, you lost, okay? We lost. Like, somebody around him got to just speak up and be like, man, you know what? You lost. It's time to move forward, do something else in the private sector, with your money, with your connections. Do something to help America. You could still help America. You could still help the people of this country. If that's truly what you wanted. Because like they said, Biden didn't even want to run. Denial is a hell of a drug. Facts. And it plagues a lot of us. Not just Cheeto number 45. Number 45, it don't just plague him. It plague a lot of us. And it's a lot of people in the country right now that's still suffering from denial. You know what I found interesting in his press conference on Friday? He said something along the lines of, yeah, and it's getting more violent. It's like people are getting more violent in terms of like the counting and him losing, and with the mail-in ballots. He was like, people are becoming. He didn't make a call to the people to relax and chill out. He was just like, people are becoming more violent. It's like, while you got the other man on the other side telling everybody chill, be patient, let democracy run its course, and so forth and so on. You got this other man, he's like, people are becoming more violent. It's low key like he's trying to incite that. I said this the other day. For anybody that thought it was going to be some type of race war or this, that, the third, look at that right there. Y'all just go Google 2020 presidential celebrations or anything like that, and you're going to see thousands upon thousands, millions upon millions of white Americans that voted Joe ass out too. Like I said, this scene played out everywhere across the land. If anybody, how you gonna know who's who? How you gonna know who's who? That's what I was like, wow. Wow. And let's make no mistake about it. A lot of African Americans voted for Trump. For whatever reasons. I think some did it to continue being funny because they don't really care about politics. They don't believe in the system. So I think some of them just wanted to see him up there so we can continue laughing at him while it's harming us. Cause it's no doubt some of that shit he said. I'm on his Twitter every day because the shit he says is comedy, but it's at our detriment. I mean, low key is funny shit, but we laughing at it, or at our own peril. You know what I'm saying? Like what? There's no way he just said Philadelphia and Detroit are the two most politically corrupt cities in the country. I was like, damn, what about all the people in those places that voted for you? You just disrespected their whole upbringing, their hometowns and all of that. Like, how could you say that? Because you lost? Well, you lost in other places too. He didn't call New York. Didn't he lose in New York? He lost out there where y'all at, right, Queen? That's our president-elect. And I ain't even got to speaking on the African-American... Wait, let me see. African-Chinese-American. I didn't even know that, though. I didn't know that she was... She was part Asian. That's dope. That's dope. America's starting to look like a melting pot that we always said it was, right? Yeah, he didn't say nothing about New York or California. And I always laugh with joy every time the polls close in California. I swear to God, 2 minutes after the polls close in California, they already know we ain't playing with that Republican shit out here. I think Ronald Reagan did well in California, primarily because he's from California, but I think Ronald Reagan might have been the last Republican that really did well out here. I don't know that for a fact, but that's my guess. But yeah, he didn't say nothing about New York and Cali. He did not say anything, but I think he knew how those were going to go anyway. I think he knew how those were going to go regardless. I just think today is Monday. It's a fresh week. Most of the people involved in getting this country back together are at work or should be. The celebrations have subsided. The legal proceedings have begun. And it's going to be interesting to see as we've been hearing reports of these message blitzes that we're about to get from Trump and his colleagues to incite people into believing that there was some type of voter fraud or corruption. That's what we got to wait for. And again, these are all firsts. This is the first time that we'll ever experience something like this post-election. I mean, pre-election, we saw a lot of shit that we never saw before. But post-election, we're guaranteed to see some things and hear some things that we have never heard from leadership or people that are around leadership in this country. Never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. And I think I'm going to close this out by again referencing Van Jones. Because it was something else watching that man cry. And I understand it. Because, again, when you want to point to your leaders, you want to see people of character, of quality, of substance, and somebody you can, like when I point to Obama, I always just tell my kids, man, look at Obama. Look at Obama. Even if you don't believe in his politics, the way that you carry yourself should mean something. the way that you carry yourself, your character should mean something. Because if it's all just legislative, if it's all just political wrangling and all that kind of stuff, then regardless of how you conduct and carry yourself, you know, these are the people that our younger generation aspire to be like in the world of politics, leadership, and things like that. Character means something. I say that in running my small little organization that we call the One Love family. Me being accountable for when I that's one thing I've never heard number 45 do, is be accountable. Everything is someone else's fault, someone else's issue, someone else's problem, none of which is caused on his watch. You know, just like when we had civil unrest to a certain degree during Obama's. I mean, every person that died by the hands of police brutality or anything like that, Obama got up there and said their names. I still to this day have not heard Donald Trump say George Floyd's name or Jacob Blake's name. To this day, I don't think he's ever said Breonna Taylor's name either. Could be, but these are things that our former president, soon to be former president, come January, has not been willing to do. And so that speaks a lot to his character. And character means something. When you, I mean, look how many votes it was. Was it 150 million votes? 150 million people that you're leading, not counting all the people that didn't vote. But 150 million voting Americans have spoken. And you lost. So stop trying to look up, what he say? He wants to find obituaries. He's looking for obituaries of people whose names are on ballots and dead people done voted. And Joy made an interesting comment the other day. She said, well, shit, you sent stimulus checks to dead people without checking, so they should have a vote. The same dead people should have a vote that you sent a stimulus check to. The same people that you send a stimulus check to that's dead, they should have a vote. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with that being said, I'm sure we're in for a interesting week on our news outlets. You know, it was interesting. It was interesting. I still ain't had a drink to celebrate. I had a drink on Tuesday after I voted. Celebrate, you know, a little bit. Little did I know, I didn't know it was going to take till Saturday. So I kept putting it off. Like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate. And then it just got to the point where, like, nah. The celebration is, I'm on such a natural high on Saturday. I couldn't come down. Just watching people be happy. What? I ain't seen so many people happy at the same time. Because you remember, we just came through a whole summer of protests. You know, the spring started with protests. The summer continued with protests, civil unrest, and so forth and so on. But Saturday, to see millions of people happy all at once, yeah, that was something special. So on this Monday, dopest morning, I commend all the people that went out and voted on either side. We all fighting, hopefully, for the same thing, and that's a better America. And, you know, now, like all the pundits have said, it's time for Biden and Harris to get to work and deliver on a lot of the, they look good in the Oval. Yeah, they look good. It's a good look. It's a good look. Let's just hope the results are the same. that they stand up and fight to get this country back on course. Starting with the pandemic, as it should be, because you can't. There's no way to fix the economy when you got half of the workforce working from home or out of work because of the pandemic. Kamala walked out to Mary J. I was done. Yes, yes. And man, do I love all the memes of them dancing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's lit. That's lit. I mean, I just think it's gonna be a time for more smiles. You know, I do. But we'll have to see what the coming weeks have to bring. I think, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see, because I've seen the memes of them saying the Secret Service is gonna have to drag him out of the White House. Well, they surely will if it comes down to that. They surely will. But I'm sure we're not done hearing from number 45 complaining, whining, and bitching about losing. For, for losing. But we'll be back tomorrow. I'm trying to do Monday through Friday. Thursdays is probably no good. So at the very least, I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll be back on here tomorrow, though, so we can continue dialogue. It doesn't necessarily have to be about politics, but we're going to jump into whatever's relevant. If you guys have anything that you guys want to discuss on Dopest Mornings, make sure you hit me up. You can find me on Live Me. Make sure you go download Live Me. Come have some fun with this. Network, socialize. Follow Queen Dopest on Live Me. Check out her morning motivation, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. I was like, wow, and it gives you that warm feeling to heal. It's all about helping. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it's all politics. At the end of the day, we know that they're politicians, and it's a game. It's a scratch up my back, I'll scratch yours. It's a game. Dude just wasn't playing the game the right way. You know what I mean? He wasn't playing the game the right way. And it gives me great joy and satisfaction to say, number 45, you're fired.